right. All right. So here we go. So welcome back, everyone. We have not done this ever, I don't think. Have we? Have we ever done a podcast where we see each other?
We've done one, which was the Last of Us.
Oh, yeah.
You probably don't remember, but it was like a while ago.
I probably don't remember because I'm an idiot.
Yes, but this was like I don't know when the original Last of Us was released. So
Well,
it's
I
been a
don't know.
while.
They keep remaking it. So
Yeah. Well, it's been a while. When this site was active.
that's very, very sad to say. So, what have you
Yeah,
been up to, man? What's going
yeah,
on?
yeah. Not much, man. I'm just living the dream. That's pretty much it.
You're living the dream.
Yeah.
You're playing Pokemon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and some new game you want to talk to me about.
Yeah,
Awesome. That's
yeah.
awesome. It's it's pretty much like actually no, that's a lie. I've actually been doing really well, man, with like I'm using gaming as a stress relief right now for my new job there. It's crazy what I have to do. So I've actually been like seriously, I can't wait for our game of the year because I've actually played I think 12 games or something this year, which is it's a Christmas miracle.
I've
It's
played 5 so far, and guaranteed
ooh,
to be 6 when Scarlet and Violet are released
exactly.
later. So that's going to be a hot take for me. Top 6 games of the year.
It's awesome, and I'm sure everyone is going to be voting for what is it, Elden Ring there. But yeah, no chance. I'm not playing that at all. I'm way too big of a baby for that. Like,
Yeah. Well,
I'll
if it's
just
not on the Switch for me, I'm not playing it right now. Although I might eventually get like a big TV and a different setup in the living room there, and hopefully get back into maybe some PlayStation gaming at some point.
well, dude. There's been well. I don't want to hog the sort of thing. I want to hear about what you wanted to tell me about. But then I have a couple of things, like a couple of games that I've been playing that I'd like to talk a little bit about. So why don't you go first? Tell me about this. What the heck is it? Corsa? Or what is it?
It's Coromon. It's a game actually. Tim, when he was still talking to me, told me about like maybe a year ago. We used to do like these streams, me and Tim, or Tim and I rather, Pokemon streams and stuff like that. Until he no showed me, and then we never did it again.
That's
But he
Tim.
was talking to me about Coromon because remember, like 2 years ago, I talked to you about Nexomon, which was like a monster
Mm-hmm.
taming game. I called them Pokemon, not rip-offs, but inspired games. And Nexomon was a very, very good game. Now it's way better than it was at launch, but it was like not necessarily like super quality, but still, if you like Pokemon games like I do, like it was fun. I liked it a lot. And then they patched a lot of stuff and fixed it. Coromon basically is a love letter to the DS games of Pokemon. Like, uh, I know like there's a lot of monster taming game fans out there that kind of have don't. It's a popular opinion to like bash Pokemon right now, or so they don't like when you say stuff like this is clearly inspired by Pokemon. But Coromon is probably the closest you'll ever have to a Pokemon game that's not actually called Pokemon. Like most of the stuff in this, not copied and paste, but almost copied and paste from the older Pokemon games with a lot of improvements that the series doesn't have. So it's an excellent game. Excellent game. It caught me by surprise. I was expecting, and it's not low budget. It's like it's the DS style graphics, so some people might be shown off by that, but it's a very well designed game. No, doesn't seem to have any bugs. Because I don't know if you remember, but like 3 or 4 years ago, I talked to you about a game called Monster Crown, the first
Yeah.
and only game I've ever like kickstarted, and it released, I believe, last year in September. And I got my code and whatever, and I played it for like not even an hour. I could not play it because it was made by one guy, and you could see that it was like made on like some kind of RPG gamer thing. It was very, very low budget, and there were tons of bugs. It wasn't playable, basically. So it kind of threw me off because a lot of these monster taming games are made by similar stuff. So
Yeah.
it's just basically people who, like me, really love the Pokemon series and monster taming games, and they try to make their own. And that's what happened with Monster Crown. Like a lot of people love it, but for me, I was just like, I'm at a point right now that I need the few games that I give a chance to. I need them to
Mhm.
be like at least work. But Coromon is just fantastic. Like it plays like the DS games. It's an old school Pokemon game, and there's a system that really addicted me. Like you know how much I like shiny hunting. Well, in
Mhm.
this game, they kind of simplified a lot of the Pokemon aspects. There's only like 6 or 7 types, and then there's types that can only be moves, but the Coromon themselves cannot be them. And there's no dual types, so it's a bit simplified in that way. But what how it works is each Coromon is assigned a number from 1 to 21. So it's kind of like the IVs, but instead of being each stat, it's just one number per Coromon. And the way it works is if you're a number from 1 to 16, you're a standard Coromon. If you're from 17 to 20, you're a potent Pokemon. And if you're Coromon, and if you're 21, you're a perfect Coromon.
Okay.
So, and what that does is obviously the 21 is the best stats possible. And then as you go lower, it gets a bit lower. But the cool thing is that there's 3 different forms. There's the standard, then there's the potent, and the perfect, and they all basically have different coloring. So it's like shiny Pokemon. So when
Okay.
you find the potent Coromon in the wild are 1 in 35 chances. So it's not that rare. The perfect is 1 in 3,000. So it's similar to the shiny odds. But the thing is, these are not just aesthetics; they're actually better if you find a perfect. And there's one other catch is that there's a guy out there very early in the game has a machine, and if you pay him like 2,500 coins, he can increase the potent value of your Coromon, and he can only do that once per Coromon, and it's guaranteed to go up by at least one. So if you find a Coromon out there with a potent value of 20, then you're guaranteed a perfect Pokemon. Coromon. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
keep
yeah.
saying Pokemon, but you're
Yeah, that's
guaranteed a
okay.
perfect Coromon because if you go to that guy, he'll go from 20 to 21, and then you have the perfect. So I already have one perfect, which is the extreme shiny. There's basically 2 different shinies, and now I just found another one that's 20. So I'm gonna go bring that guy, and I'm gonna have another perfect Coromon. So I'm really loving that system. The only downside for it's for me is because of my OCD. I have every team member that I have needs to be a potent one. So every time I find a new team member that I want to add, I need to hunt the potent one, which is not that bad. It's 1 in 35, so
Yeah, that's not
uh,
bad.
it's not that bad, but it's just that for me, like my OCD, I knowing this system and how it works, I need to at least have the potent one because I like shinies, but it's not just aesthetics; they're actually better. They have better
Okay,
stats,
that's
so
cool.
that's pretty kick-ass feature of this game. So far, I'm like maybe 6 hours in, and I'm addicted. It's a lot harder, obviously, than regular
Yeah, yeah.
Pokemon games, which is nice. I'm not mad. There's a lot more grinding unfortunately, but it's up to you. I don't mind the grinding so far. There's no XP share, but there are items that you can find that you can attach to a Coromon that even if he's not in the battle, he'll gain XP. So there's workarounds, but it does require a bit more grinding. There seems to be more difficulty spikes, but so far I'm just enjoying the heck out of this game. Really surprised me. I did not expect such a quality Pokemon style game to be made by an independent developer. So I think whenever you get a chance, you should definitely give this game a chance because I think you'll love it. It's right up your alley. Like it's perfect, man. I just for me, like I haven't played anything new this year really besides Arceus, and I played some MLB The Show on Switch earlier and enjoyed those, but nothing like this so far. Like I was looking for an experience like this, I found it, and it's a nice little surprise. Should hold me off for a month and close the gap between the release of Scarlet and Violet.
I love the talking there. Close the release between Scarlet
Yeah, yeah.
and Violet. Well, okay. So I don't want to spoil our game of the year here. So what could I can I talk about here? Well, there's last couple of things I played were kind of like just like fast things. Like Sony had a sale, like a ridiculous sale. The game must have done terrible, man. Must have just like bombed. Because I swear, I think something like 2 or 3 weeks after Ghostwire Tokyo came out, it was released March 25th. Okay, and I picked it up in May, so obviously like a few months later, the digital download was $20. Like, and it was like an $80 game,
Oh
man.
yeah.
So it must have bombed, like totally bombed. And it's from Shinji Mikami, so Resident Evil fame. It's not scary at all. It's a first person. I don't know if you know what the hell I'm even talking
No,
about.
no
It's
clue.
a it's a first person shooter, except you use your hand. So the guy's like pew pew, like it's ridiculous, and it's like basically everyone in Japan has been killed, and but it's like in today's setting, and it's as if like their bodies just vanished. So everywhere you explore in the city, you'll find clothes all over the place, because it's as if like we're just talking and suddenly it's like Marvel, right? You just vanish. And
Yeah.
so their clothes just sort of like fell down and whatever, and you're trying to collect spirits and understand like what the hell's going on. Hyper realistic in the city, like they did a crazy job with that. Really quick game, like not long at all, maybe like I don't know, 12 hours, something like that. And really surprised me. Like I thought it was going to be one of these like like type of things, but for $20, I was like in. So that'll definitely be on my list. After that, played Turtles, which I'm sure you're going to want to talk
Oh
a
yeah.
little bit
That's
about
nice.
that. That was really surprising. That, and I picked that up on Switch because you told me, you're like, hey, don't pick it up on anything else. Pick it up on Switch. Played through it, but man, do I ever suck so bad at these things.
You
Like
played
it's
solo, right?
like yeah, I played solo.
Yeah, I told you to buy it so you can play with me, and then you never want to play with me.
Well, I've been on a roll here, man.
Bastard.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I
Though when the
it's
day that
fun,
came
man.
out, I downloaded it. I preloaded it the day before, and then my buddy and he came here, and we just played like from 7:30 to like 10:30 at night,
Hmm.
going on the first run. We played to it on story mode, so it's a bit easier on the easiest difficulty possible, and we just had a blast. He's a huge turtle nerd. Like he's been a turtle fan all his life. I enjoyed a lot of the turtles too when I was a kid, and I watched most of the movies. But he's just like he had all the toys and whatnot. I had most of them too when I was a child. So we obviously wanted this, and we played the NES games a lot when we were kids. Uh, and I played the arcade game a bit too. So this was a match made in heaven. So it's not that it's a lot of fun. I don't know, the difficulty is just right. And
Yeah.
it's basically just for me. I'm just bashing buttons. Like I'm not. I have no clue what I'm doing, but I'm having fun. And then you can unlock characters. So my second run, we played it on normal in arcade mode, and we barely made it. Like we beat Shredder at the end, and then we I think we I had one life left, and maybe he was on his last life too, and so we would have had to use a continue. I don't know how those works. But I was using April O'Neil, and April O'Neil is such a badass in this game. Like I was just basically kicking everybody, and then you jump in the air and you keep kicking them infinitely. I was hitting like 180 combos all the time. I don't know why I suck at these games, but with her, I was basically like Bruce Lee or something. So it was an awesome experience. And then the next time we try this, I'm probably gonna do like we're gonna try hard mode and get our
Oof.
ass destroyed because we both
Yeah,
suck
I
at
think
it. But
so.
it's a lot of fun, man. I don't know. It's just like it's pretty hard to find any flaws with that game. If you're looking for a beat them up in the classic like arcade style of TMNT, like download this game right away. It's perfect for you. Like I don't know what your thoughts are on this game. You should try it with a friend because these games are
Yeah,
made to
well,
be playing with
of
friends.
course. Yeah,
If you
of
find one,
course. Yeah, that's the whole problem, exactly. But no, like for me, the very first thing, like as soon as it starts and you get like the sort of like homage to the original arcade game where you have the lights coming out of the sewer and like then like the theme starts playing and all of that. The very first thing, I sat back on my couch and I was like, why the hell did this take so long, like, to come out? Like I don't get it. Like, Turtles is one of those, like, when it was released on Xbox Live Arcade way back in the day there, it did crazy well. And I know the follow-ups started to get less, like, do less and less well, like X-Men, and then they released Simpsons. But Turtles was like the first. That was like, well, the first. That was like, it was one of the big Konami like beat 'em ups of like back in the day. And they followed it up with Turtles in Time. Then they did all the like the NES games, and they ported over Turtles in Time to Super, as you call it, Super NES. I was watching a video of you with that. I was dying of laughter. I don't know why, but I was just dying of laughter. And anyways, whatever. It's like, I don't get it. Like, it was always successful. It always like worked. It's a simple formula. You got four turtles. They all play slightly different. Like, I don't understand why something like this took so long to come out. I mean, it's 2022 and this game really feels like it was released in 1994.
Yeah.
Like, it could it could have been released in arcades back then. But no, I have nothing bad to say at all. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. And what I love about these types of games is that it's fast. Like, you can just pick up the system, play, and and
Yeah,
there you
we just
go.
lost track of time. Like,
Yeah.
usually I'm in bed by 9 because I have to wake up at 5 in the morning. And
Mm,
he comes like once every 3 weeks because he's on a shift where he's like, yeah, alternates. He's 8 to 4, 4 to 12, 12 to 8. So when he's on day shifts, he can. And usually he leaves around 9. And then we started playing. We were to play for an hour or two. And then we ended up beating the whole game and just lost track of
yeah.
time because that's the kind of game it is. It's
Well,
just
that's it.
addictive and it's fun.
Mm,
And it reminds me of my childhood because this is what we used to do, like playing NES games and
mm,
Contra, stuff like that, just
mm.
together. So, and speaking of
No,
arcades,
exactly.
it's just a question for you because I was at Wacky Wings with my kids this weekend, and there's arcades there, and one of those arcade was from Nintendo. I was curious. I did not know Nintendo still made arcade machines in the in Canada, in the US, I guess. It was called something like Cruise and Blast. It was a racing game, but it was from Nintendo. Have you ever heard of this? Did you know they still made arcades?
Oh, yeah. You sure they still make arcades, or is that like from 15, 20 years ago?
Well, it looked pretty. Like the arcade booths looked brand new. It was worded with the Nintendo, like the
Yeah,
new
that
logo,
doesn't.
the new red logo on it. Like wasn't like the
What is it called? What is it called?
I don't
Cruising.
know, Cruise and Blast or something like that. It was a
See.
racing game, like with two boots. I was very.
Let's see. Let's see.
I should have taken a photo and sent it to you. I thought about it and then I did not do it.
Okay, because as far as I know, there's no Nintendo hasn't had anything in ages.
Because if
Let's
it was
see.
from 15 years ago, it would have looked like crap.
Yeah. It could be licensed though.
And
Let's
I've never heard
see.
of them making a game called Cruis'n, like Cruis'n USA back in the day on the 64,
Okay,
sure.
so can you click on the chat here without it exploding?
I can try.
Okay, well, I just posted. Is that what you're talking about?
I'll send it, text it to my phone. That way I know nothing
Well,
will
how can
bad will
I?
happen.
Okay, better yet, I'll just take a
Oh,
picture. Hold on. Here we go. This is the most professional thing of all time, man.
it is. From our
Okay.
standards, it's not that bad.
No, it's not so bad. Okay, so I just found. I think I found it. You tell me if that's it. All right. Let's see. So, uh, da-da-da-da.
Yeah, exactly
Okay.
that. But it was
Okay.
a
So
two boot
cruising.
machine.
Yeah, it's not made by Nintendo.
No?
No, it's licensed. That's what I thought.
Okay. It's weird.
So that's it. Yeah, it's made by a company called Raw Thrills.
When they licensed that,
Yeah.
I didn't even know they had that, whatever that franchise
Yeah, it's
is.
on Switch. You can buy it on Switch if you like the game.
Okay. Sure, I'm gonna run and do that after
You
this.
should. You should. So after Turtles, which was really cool, I won't lie, like that was really cool. I had a huge grin on my face the whole time I was playing it. Loved like throwing the like the Foot Clan into the screen like
Yeah.
Turtles in Time and stuff. No, it was good, man. It was good. I played the story mode. I played on easy too. I died, a handful of times or whatever there. But like I reminisce back to like the days of like the what was it, six? I think it was 6-player X-Men cabinet and the 4-player Turtle cabinet. And I always said if I ever had Spaceman, I would totally buy the One Up arcade like they redid it there, like not the exact, sort of thing. And yes, it's emulation and all that crap, but who cares? I would still buy like the 4-player Turtles and the 6-player X-Men because
I like the
those,
Simpsons one as well. That one
yeah,
actually
that
played a
one's,
lot.
yeah,
That one was great.
I would totally do that because and then anyone but I have no life, so it's not like who am I gonna play with? I'll just stand there. Doo, 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 doo. But anyways, you must have heard of this game Stray. You must have heard of it. It's been on every bloody website except for your Nintendo websites, so you probably have no idea what I'm talking
No,
about.
not,
That's great. That's awesome. So it's a game that went viral. I think it's multi-platform. I think it's on like PC, PS4, PS5. I might be wrong. It might be just current gen, but whatever. Um, you play as a cat in a post-apocalyptic city, literally a city that's like in a lockdown thing where all the humans are gone, but there's robots that have replaced humans, and it's very reminiscent, I find, of Majora's Mask, where like everybody has something that they're doing. So like they move about the city, they do their own thing. It's like a narrative driven game where you're trying to just like explore everything. Really short, man. Like one of the trophies is like beat the game in under 2 hours to give you an
okay.
idea. Like it's really, really, really short. But man, is it good. I don't know what it is about it, and that's why it went viral. Like people are like talking about it on every website and everything. I think it's got to do with like it's such a unique concept that you play as a cat roaming around a city that is like just infested, that's like not infested, that's Earth is infested with humans. It's basically like a city that's just got all these robots and it's like super run down and everything. It's not like a like Fallout or anything like that, and you're just trying to figure out like sort of like what the hell is like going on type of thing, but really good. And after that, on Game Pass, there's this The Walking Dead and those other Telltale games.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't think of, The Wolf Among Us and all of that. Well, Microsoft released one on Game Pass called As Dusk Falls. Really unique take. It was like fully realistic, but like hand drawn. So it's like people look like people, except that it's like an artist rendition of a person. So like they don't fully move or anything like that. It's all like still images, but the way they do it, there's a little bit of animation every now and then, and it's exactly like The Walking Dead, like a choose your own adventure
Hmm.
type of thing. Really enjoyed that one as well. It's about 5 hours. Like I've been playing a lot of games like that are really quick, really, like one sitting you can finish, like Turtles, you can finish in one sitting. Stray, I finished in a single sitting. This one, As Dusk Falls, I haven't finished yet, but I'm right at the end of it. And I'm like, I was thinking of you and I was like, man, you got to get your TV area set up there because these are the sorts of things where I would like gift you these because they're fast. They don't, it's not like a 800-hour epic like type of thing. and good, man, like
Yeah.
really really good. So that one was really good, and what I'm playing right now, which I'm sure you've seen, is Live Alive on Switch. And the reason why is it's a 15-hour RPG. It's not a 200-hour, it's a nice short RPG from the creator of Chrono Trigger, and it's a remake of this game from like 1994, I think. I think 4, 3, something like that. And is it old? Hell yes, super old school, but really, really unique in that you have 7 vignettes basically. So you have 7 little stories, and whether or not they all combine, I don't think so, because each one of the stories takes place at a different point in time, and you can definitely feel the Chrono Trigger, like sort of like this clearly inspired the director for Chrono Trigger. Like there's no question about it. Even the battle system that's in there, you can do like diagonal slashes and stuff, which is all stuff that would become popularized in Chrono Trigger. But what's really unique, is you can go from like the one chapter that I just completed was in Japan, and I found out it's the hardest chapter of the whole game, which I was like, oh, okay, that explains it. At a moment, I felt like I was playing like Elden Ring. I was dying
Uh,
constantly, and I was like, what the hell am I doing wrong here? I'm like, this is like ridiculous. I Google, and everyone's like, Live Alive is such an easy game. Like, it's ridiculous. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, my skills have gone like that crappy. But it just turns out that it's this one chapter. It's sort of like, think of it like the challenging chapter, if you will. There's another chapter where you don't even fight.
oh yeah.
Like, there's no fighting at all, no battle system, no nothing. It's just story. And then you'll have another one where it's like there's like a little bit of combat, but that's not what its focus is more on exploration. So, anyways, whatever. Like, I just really, honestly, I have a feeling that this is the type of game I don't think anyone's gonna buy. Like, I think it's gonna just totally tank. And in 3 or 4 years from now, or 5 years or 10 years, it's going to be one of these games that's like super sought after because it's a really unique game. And man, I tell you, ever since Octopath Traveler, which God, I hate that name, um, I love this style. This like 3D painted sprites, like on like the 2D, 3D, whatever.
Mhm.
And as I'm playing this, all I can think about is that remake of Dragon Quest 3, and I'm like, where are you? It was announced like what, a year and a half ago, something like that, and we haven't seen nothing.
No clue, but we're getting treasures soon, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so for me, the big three. Well, now that you talked about that game, Live Alive, I should be done in a few days because it's really not long. It's not a long game at all. And then I have nothing until the big three, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. I really don't know what I'm gonna do because earlier in the year, this is one of the spoilers that I didn't want to mention, but whatever. Earlier in the year, I played God of War, the remake there, the whatever, the one from a couple years ago. Well, probably 5 years ago now or something. It was part of the PlayStation Plus something. I don't know. They gave away a bunch of games like from the PS4 era, and I never played it. I went through it, and man, you need to find some time. Seriously, holy crap, that's probably the best sort of like, how can I say this? It's probably one of, not the best. The best would be Zelda. But I think it's one of the best sort of like franchise pivots,
Yeah.
like taking it in a different direction that I've ever seen before. Like they did a damn good job with that. And Ragnarok releases on the 9th, Pokemon on the 18th, if I remember right, and Treasures is on December 9th. And
What's
I'm like,
Ragnarok?
God of War sequel.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I'm like, oh man, those three, and there's no way I'm gonna be able to beat God of War in a week. So what I think I'm gonna do is like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. I think Dragon Quest will probably be delayed into, like, for me, I'll delay it into next year, play it in January, something like this. Spend because we usually with Pokemon, it's usually what, like 2 months. I usually put in something like that because I have to play one, then I have to play the other, then I have to do the decks. It's
Wes, okay?
now this is professional.
Yeah, thanks for. Yeah, my kids are here, and one of them is asking for something, and
Well, go get it. Go do it.
oh, he's just
We'll
asking.
be
He's
super
watching a
professional.
video on his tablet, and he's wondering something. He'll figure it out.
That's
That's
great.
good
But
parenting
yeah,
for you.
it's perfect. But I'm super stoked for Pokemon. Like I'm really looking forward to that. But I have time, right? Like that's November. We have all of August, all of September, and all of October. So, and I
You know
looked
your
at the
months.
release,
That's great.
and I'm at, eh? Um, but there's really not much. Like I looked at like what's coming out, and there's not much. So if this game that you're talking about, what is it, Coromon?
Yep, Coromon.
Okay, so maybe I can check that out because I was actually wondering what the hell I'm gonna
It's
do.
only $29 on the eShop. It's probably by the time you're finished all your games, it's probably gonna get on a discount or something. Like these games usually.
Well, by my birthday, I'm done, man. Like Stray is done. I've done that. I have about an hour, no joke. I have about an hour left of As Dusk Falls, and because I'm in the last chapter, it's a 6 chapter game. I'm in chapter 6, and every chapter has been around 40 minutes or so. So I figured the last chapter, what, maybe an hour tops, something like that. And it all the reviewers said the same thing. It's a really short game. And then Live Alive, I don't think that's gonna take long at all. Like each chapter is about 5 hours, something like that, not even. So I think by my birthday I'll be able to check it out, which would be cool because if I spend around a month with it, how long? How like you said, it's a Pokemon clone, right?
Yeah, from what I've heard, it's about 20 hours, but it depends like how much grinding you do. Like I like to try to catch each creature in every region, and I
Well, that's the thing. Like, how
so
big is
for me,
the
for me,
decks?
it's probably gonna be closer to 40 hours, but it's not as big. Like there's only 6 areas, I believe. But something I like is there's huge caves. Like remember the original Pokemon Red and Green, Red and Blue, Yellow, when you went to like Empty Moon and you had to traverse these areas. Like usually it took 1 or 2 hours to traverse, and now in the newer Pokemon games you don't find these anymore. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
pretty quick. So there's these huge areas, like these dungeons or caves or whatever you want, with a lot of puzzles. So like it takes like a few hours to get through, but there's only 6 areas. It seems like 6 domes or whatever. There's
Okay,
only
well,
a
so
111 Coromon in total, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna complete like the decks or whatever, but probably gonna try. And it doesn't seem 111 is nothing.
well,
Like
no, not today. My
yeah,
goodness, man.
it's,
You're used to collecting 400,
yeah,
500.
yeah.
Like,
So I'm probably gonna give it a shot. Not sure about the
oh, that's
starters
cool.
though. I'm not sure if the starters, because there's 3 starters. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you can get the other 2 in the wild. So
Well, is there breeding in this or
I'm not
no?
sure if there's breeding. There might be. I'm not there yet, but there might be.
We have a guest.
Yeah, we have a guest.
This is great.
Yeah.
So anyway, no, I'll see if I can try it out. I don't see why I wouldn't be able to try it out, considering everything we like I said there. I just wish you had more time to check out. Well, not even time. I wish you could actually check out some of these other games, man, because it's starting to get pretty sick. If you have a 4K TV there, it's pretty sick. This is so enjoyable. Our video is gonna get so many views.
Okay, okay,
This
yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah.
This is great. He's just watching himself.
Yeah, yeah, he is. Okay.
It's
Yeah,
perfect.
that's it.
It's awesome. And now he's like, let go of me. I don't want to be
Let
here.
go. Yeah, it's gonna go.
But
Hopefully.
yeah, no, you have to get like back into it, man, because there's some pretty cool stuff, seriously. And one in particular, I hope within the next 3 years, I just hope in the next 3 years you can get like your, just give me the word, man. Like, tell me, like, okay, I've got it all set up. I'm good to go. Because I know that the sequel to Ghost to, what is it? Ghost of
Tsushima.
Tsushima will come out in the next, at least the next 3 years. That game, man, honestly, no joke, and maybe it's just me, but like PS3 was The Last of Us for me anyway. Was like that was the game of that generation for me. Like
Hmm.
that blew my mind. I had the exact same thing with Ghost of Tsushima, and I don't consider it a PS5 game. It's a PS4 game, and that is hands down like the best of that type. Like that sort of thing. I think Zelda Breath of the Wild was like for whatever this gen or whatever the hell whatever you want to call it for the Switch. I still think that's going to be like for me personally. I think it's going to be the only complaint I had with Zelda was the four dungeons. That was it.
Yeah.
Like that's really the only thing, and I'm really hoping with whatever they call the sequel, I'm hoping that they can balance that a little bit better. Like the freedom that you had was just so awesome, but I didn't like that the dungeons were gone. Like they
Yeah.
didn't like exist at all. But anyways, whatever. So just want to say like that's a game I really want you to try though, man, is Ghost of Tsushima. Like you need to try that because if that doesn't blow your mind from the opening sequence, it has a sequence very reminiscent of The Last of Us, but not about, death or whatever. It's just it gets you right away where you're like, oh shit, man, like what the hell? And it was crazy. It was totally, totally crazy. I had a friend over and he's sitting there and he's like, how is this even possible? Like with all graphics, fire arrows and
Yeah.
shit all over the place. And he's just like, we went from blip blop, blip blop, blip blop to like to this, and it's like it's crazy. But anyway, so yeah. So what are you gonna do after Coromon?
Probably nothing. Right now, I'm still like Sword and Shield. I'm still like doing those raids and whatnot. So no, I don't really have any plans. Like I tell, I don't really play new games that much. I have not that much time, and when I do, I prefer to do something I know I'm gonna like. And I have a hard time trying new stuff lately. So we'll see. Like Violet and Scarlet, those are probably gonna be awesome. So that's probably the last of the next games I play after Coromon. So we'll see.
Okay, so then we can expect another podcast in like a year.
In a year, maybe two.
Hey, I just realized we're both wearing a blue shirt. That's
Yeah, yeah,
wonderful.
yeah. That's planned. That's planned.
Yes, totally planned. Okay, man. Well, go play with your kids. They're
Yeah,
clearly
yeah.
wanting Papa.
Yeah, there's one there that's I want to get that on camera, and like I know her mother won't like the fact that he's on camera for a bit. I'm hoping you recorded yourself with the big screen, not me.
It doesn't. I don't remember how it works, man.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't remember how it works. Um, well, if that's an issue, just let me know. I'll figure out what I can do.
So I get
Okay,
back.
go.
All right, so we'll see you in a year.
Yes. Okay. See you later, guys. Take
Yeah.
care, everybody.
Bye.